Now we study about the intrinsic membranes and ligaments. So you can see that there are two membranes here. One is quadrangular membrane and another one is cricovocal membrane. It is also called conus elasticus. And the another name of this ligament is laterocricothyroid ligament. So first we study about the conus elasticus. The lower border of conus elasticus attached to the upper border of cricoid cartilage, and the upper border is free. So anteriorly it is attached to this upper free border is known as vocal ligament. Anteriorly it is attached to the midline in both sides below the attachment of vestibular ligament, and posteriorly this vocal ligament is attached to the vocal process of arytenoid cartilage. The another ligament is known as quadrangular ligament, and its upper border attaches to the margin of epiglottis, and its posterior border is free, forming the array epiglottic fold, and the lower border is free, and this lower free border is known as vestibular ligament. Anteriorly it is attached to the posterior surface of thyroid cartilage in the midline, and posteriorly it is attached to the anterolateral surface of arytenoid cartilage, like in this picture. This is thyroepiglottic ligament. You can see this is thyroepiglottic ligament. This is the attachment of vestibular ligament. This is the attachment of vocal ligament. You can see thyroepiglottic ligament, vestibular ligament, and vocal ligament. This membrane is quadrangular membrane, and this membrane is conus elasticus. These membranes are covered by mucous membrane from inside, and the muscles of the larynx present outside these membranes. This is posterior aspect of the dissected larynx. You can see this is laryngeal inlet. This is epiglottis, posterior surface of the epiglottis. This is laryngeal inlet, and this fold is called array epiglottic fold, from arytenoid cartilage to the margin of epiglottis, and this fold is strengthened by quadrangular membrane. It is lined by mucous membrane, and the muscles present outside this quadrangular membrane. You can also see this is the lamina of cricoid cartilage, posterior lamina of cricoid cartilage, and there is a muscle. You can see this muscle is cricoarytenoid, posterior cricoarytenoid muscle. This muscle is posterior cricoarytenoid muscle. This is muscular process of arytenoid cartilage, and this is posterior surface of arytenoid cartilage. You can see here these muscles, transversely running muscle. This is transverse arytenoid. Here you can see this is lateral thyroid ligament. This ligament is lateral thyroid ligament, and this fossa you can see this space, or this fossa is called piriform fossa or piriform recess. So this is the list of the intrinsic muscles of the larynx. So there are total 9 muscles. First is, and we can read these 5 muscles together and these 3 muscles together, and this is the separate muscle. So first muscle is posterior cricoarytenoid, posterior cricoarytenoid. Second one is lateral cricoarytenoid. Third one is transverse arytenoid. This is unpaired muscles. Oblique arytenoid, and fifth one is array epiglotticus. Then again thyroarytenoid vocalis and thyroepiglotticus, and the ninth muscle is cricothyroid. So we can read these 5 muscles together, these 3 muscles together, and these single muscles can read later. So in this picture you can see this muscle is posterior cricoarytenoid. So this is the posterior lamina of cricoid cartilage, and there is a median ridge present on the posterior surface which divides this into two parts. There is a depression present in both sides, and posterior cricoarytenoid arises from this posterior aspect and inserted into the posterior aspect of muscular process of arytenoid cartilage. If this muscle contracts, then what happens? The vocal process, which lies anteriorly, moves away from each other. So the vocal ligaments also move away from each other, and this movement is called abduction. This is lateral cricoarytenoid muscle. Lateral cricoarytenoid muscles, it arises from the upper border of cricoid cartilage. Here upper border is not shown, but you can imagine lateral cricoarytenoid arises from the upper border of cricoid cartilage, and it runs backwards and attaches to the anterior surface of muscular process. So when lateral cricoarytenoid contracts, then what happens? The vascular process which faces the vocal process which faces anteriorly now move towards each other. So vocal ligament which is attached to the vocal process also move towards each other. So this movement is called adduction of the vocal cord. This muscle is transverse arytenoid. Transverse arytenoid arises from the posterior surface of one arytenoid cartilage and inserted into the posterior surface of another arytenoid cartilage. When this muscle contracts, the two arytenoid cartilage slides towards each other. So what happens? The vocal ligaments come close to each other. So this movement is called adduction. Now another muscle you can see, this is oblique arytenoid, just superficial to transverse arytenoid. This muscle arises from the posterior aspect of muscular process of one arytenoid cartilage and inserted into the apex of another arytenoid cartilage. So this muscle is oblique arytenoid. So when this muscle contracts, the apex of both the arytenoid cartilage comes close to each other. This muscle goes in the aryepiglottic fold and inserted into the lateral margin of epiglottis. So when this oblique arytenoid and aryepiglotticus from apex of arytenoid cartilage to the lateral margin of epiglottis, this muscle is known as aryepiglotticus, which runs in the aryepiglottic fold. When oblique arytenoid and aryepiglotticus contract, then what happens? The epiglottis moves backwards and the apex of the two arytenoid cartilage coming close to each other, and from this movement larynx will be partially closed. So in summary, you can say that the posterior cricoarytenoid muscle causes abduction of the vocal cord. The lateral cricoarytenoid and transverse arytenoids causes adduction of the vocal cord, and oblique arytenoid and aryepiglotticus causes closure of the laryngeal inlet.